All right, so today is January 23rd. It's about 23 degrees, and I just shot a squirrel right at daylight. Now, we are currently facing the largest winter storm that we've had in Kentucky in probably 20 years, and I've decided to come out here and camp. I haven't brought any food. I have no shelter. I left all that at home. I do have my sleeping bags. I do have a tarp. So I've got to build my shelter, get my fire pit set up, and with any luck, I don't die. But on the bright side, with me not having food, I did just shoot lunch. So there's no squirrels moving. It's about 8:30 in the morning. There's no squirrels moving. So I've got to get my camp set up. I'm gonna hang some snares, hopefully catch a couple of squirrels today. I do have some footholds and some dog-proof traps set. So whatever I catch, I'm eating. I don't care what it is. So stick around and let's see how this weekend goes. So here's my squirrel snare. Anybody that knows anything about hunting knows that squirrels will run up and down a fallen tree. So I've stuck my stalk down in the bark right here, kind of looped it around just to suspend my snare up a little bit. There's a little gap right here, and that should be the right distance for a squirrel's head. Now the idea is that the squirrel's gonna come running up or down this, get its head caught in this loop. It's going to fall like this, and then it'll be caught. So this thing right here is going to hunt for me even when I'm physically not able to be here and hunt myself. I'm going to set a few more of these, and with any luck, we'll have squirrels for supper tonight. Just got to where I'm going to build my camp. Now you can see all this real thick cover back in here behind me. That's going to help block the wind. So I'm gonna go on and get started building my shelter, and then hopefully get my fire built and start cooking lunch. So firewood's gonna be a little bit tough. I don't have a chainsaw with me. All I've got is my hatchet and a little handsaw. But there's a lot of stuff on the ground, but it's a lot of small stuff, and it's kind of hard to cut with that saw. So I'm just gonna gather up what I can with my hatchet and kind of just go from there. So I decided to make a quick change to my shelter. I really didn't want to, but given the time that I have, I went on and just made this a little bit narrower so my tarps would go all the way to the ground. I really wanted to cut more logs and block in those holes and give me a little bit more headroom in here and a little bit more room to move around. But given the severity of the storm coming in, I really needed to make sure that this was done, and it was taking longer than I thought. I needed an extra day to do what I wanted to do. So this way it's going to save me time. I can go on and get back to cutting firewood, and then I can get back in the woods and start hunting some more. I've still got the one squirrel there. I haven't cooked it yet. I'm going to wait and cook it when I'm done hunting this afternoon. I'm hoping that I can get one more squirrel, maybe trap a coon or something, I don't know. But one squirrel's not a lot, given the fact that that's all I've got to eat and I have no extra food with me. So I found these old walnut logs right here that are left over from logging, and I'm gonna go get them and try to build me a little wall out of it. That way I can reflect some heat back into my shelter. You know, eventually there's going to come a time where your trail is too rough, too long, and it's too cold, it's too wet, and you just won't be able to do it anymore. You know, don't take those times for granted when you're able to get outside and enjoy it. Go and enjoy it. Don't let it get in the way of your family. You know, don't lose your job because of it. But take every opportunity that you get to get outside and enjoy nature. So I'm gonna go on and try to cook this squirrel up. There's nothing moving today. I mean, there's no birds, there's no nothing. So I got one squirrel. I'll wait and try again in the morning. So I'm just waiting for my squirrel to cook, and then I can eat it. Been a long day with nothing to eat, but you know, that's just how it is. There was nothing moving today. There was no squirrels. There was no birds flying around. There was just zero movement. So I went and checked my trap, and one of my snares had been knocked over off of the limb. So a squirrel had probably tried to run up that limb and knock the squirrel over. Maybe the wind blew it off. I don't know. But regardless, I set it back, so maybe I'll get something in the morning. If not, one squirrel for 2 days. That it's surviving, but it ain't thriving. Well, let's find out what a boiled and baked squirrel tastes like with no seasoning. Looks good. I don't know how well you can see it. It's definitely cooked. Oh, that's tender. Wow. Oh, wow. That is way better than I expected. That is almost as tender as a frog leg. No joke, that is really tender. This is really good. This is really good. I need more of these tomorrow. Oh, my nose is running like a sawmill. Ugh. Oh my goodness, you gotta try this. Well guys, it's bedtime. My shelter's pretty warm and I'm going to sleep. See you in the morning. So my current situation, it is 3:15 in the morning and it's 10 degrees outside. So as many times as I've camped in the winter directly on the ground, this is the first time that the ground has ever unthawed under me and soaked through my sleeping pad. I am using 2 old sleeping bags as a pad, and it's went through that. It's went through my underquilt and into my sleeping bag. So that is pretty disastrous in these kinds of temperatures. I'm guessing the fire where it had my shelter so warm, it just unthawed. I've never had that happen before, because normally I won't use a fire at night because it is just a huge responsibility. I don't ever want to see local hunter burns down the forest as the news headlines. So normally I just cook and then put the fire out and go to bed. But this time, because it was going to be so cold, I just left the fire burning, and that was probably a mistake. So you can see all those dark spots. That's where it got wet from the ground unthawing. That's very disheartening. It's 7:30 in the morning and it's 7 degrees outside. I'm not going to call this a complete failure, because yeah, my stuff got wet, but I still did what I set out to do. I come out here with no food, no water, and I was able to find both. If I had spent less time hunting yesterday afternoon and more time working on my raised bed to get me up off the ground, I would have been just fine. But everything out here is a race against time, and everything has to be prioritized. I should have put more priority into getting off the ground. I knew better, but honestly, as many times as I've slept on the ground, I've never had the ground unthaw before and my sleeping bags and stuff get wet. That's never happened. I guess the heat of the fire and the heat of my body back up in there last night just unthawed the ground. It's very disheartening that I had to leave a day early, but there's no way that I can get my stuff dry, that I can hunt today, that I can get the necessary things done to the shelter before the storm hits in about 5 hours. There's just no possible way that I can get all that done, plus gather up more firewood to get me through this night. I just got to cut my trip short. I was planning it for 2 days, but looks like it's just going to be a 24-hour trip. But, you know, it was still fun. I got to learn a lot. And if you ever go out and do something like this, be safe. Get your priorities straight. Don't let one slip like I did. 2 people would make this so much better. You know, one person could be focusing on the shelter and firewood, and the other person focusing on hunting and water and all that stuff. But where I'm out here by myself, having to do everything, it's tough. So, you know, I'm going to get packed up and get out of here and try to enjoy the rest of my day. So, be safe out there.